Hi, friends. We have about 2 minutes, and I just really wanted to make sure that my technology was working. So I'm going to ask that you let me know if you can see my screen, which should say deep dive into DeepSpectra. I think that should work. I'm gonna double check real quick here on my phone. Yeah, I see it. Okay. All right, I have 1 minute. So I'm just gonna take a real quick drop of frankincense squared under my tongue. I've been loving it. Okay, here we go. So we just had a masterclass today with Daly and Brad Chatterley on DeepSpectra. So I hope, I can give you more depth into it, as well as maybe just a different perspective. A lot of what I'm presenting here is what I learned at the convention. So those of you that did go to convention might just be a reminder. And for those of you that didn't, I hope this helps. Okay, so DeepSpectra is a patent pending technology of Young Living. And it really has three aspects to it that is what makes it so special. So 3 E's, if you will. It's extraordinary, exclusive, and earth kind. So I'm going to go through each one just to give you a deeper understanding of why it's so revolutionary. Okay, so it's extraordinary, right? Because it combines the qualities of the plant and the selected essential oil to create unique new fusions. In the past, we've never had essential oils that include compounds that were more dense or larger molecules that were present in the plant that could actually be distilled. So now we have this extraordinary technology that can do that. And I'm going to explain in a minute what this technology is. So it's exclusive. It's exclusive because it was created in-house by our chief research scientist, which is Dr. H.K. Lin. And he created it from his curiosity around how to innovate based on conversations he remembers having with Gary Young, even in earlier years, that they were always talking about the possibilities. And so with this patent, this pending patent, we're able to be the world's leader in this technology, and no one can actually copy our discovery for a while, at least 20 years. And it's earth kind. So one of the waste products of the distillation process is the spent plant material after distillation. And no matter how long we are distilling a plant for their essential oil, the plant material will always have some, I'm not a scientist, right? But this is what I understand. that it will always have some compounds that we were not able to distill. And this plant material is then, distributed around the farm, used as compost. If you've been to any of the farms, you may have seen huge piles of compost made from plant material that have been put through the distiller. And they smell amazing. But what we're doing now is we're actually reusing that plant material, and it will, of course, again, ultimately end up in the farm as compost, but we're actually extracting some of the compounds now that is so beneficial to us. Okay, so given the 3 E's, what is this technology? So I'll just go through it really quickly. And there is a couple of YouTube videos. One is Dr. Mark Bartlett talking about the science behind this technology. And the other one is a podcast with Young Living's podcast, YL podcast with Jacob Young. And again, Dr. Mark Bartlett is being interviewed, and you can hear him speak more about it. Essentially, though, we are taking the plant material, whether it's the resin or the plant itself, as okay, sorry, let me back up. What the technology is using, instead of water, or hexane or any other kind of solvent as the extractor of compounds from the plant, we're now using essential oils. So I'm going to go into frankincense, but we're using the frankincense essential oil to extract and distill the resin of the frankincense. And with that technology, we are seeing a lot more compounds being distilled, and the ultimate essential oil has molecules in it that we never could extract before. So I'm going to go into more detail. All right, so modern pharmaceutical drugs have a very single molecule or compound focus. So in the past, maybe it's going to change, maybe it's changing, but it always has a certain singular active ingredient that is trying to extract and to dispense. And the prevailing sort of or progressive theory is that the body is not just receiving one vitamin or one certain active compound to make it balance itself. It really is a symphony of many interactive components functioning synergistically. So just remember that as we start to understand why this is such an amazing technology, because we're allowing more parts of the plant. So remembering that whole foods is better than just one single vitamin, for instance. So we're distilling more of the plant itself in order for the different compounds to work synergistically within us with more, with a harmonious ability to not just ignore some parts of that plant. And so we talked about earthkind, and we talked about how we are extracting valuable compounds from natural sources and more environmentally friendly than traditional methods. So we're using up more parts of the resin or the plant, so that as it goes down the waste chain, and it's not really waste, again, we're reusing it at the farm, we are in essence not wasting the compounds that are beneficial. Okay. So the inspiration is, of course, from Gary Young. Gary really started Young Living, he used to call it Living Young, with his formulations of herbal supplements. And you can see here, Comfortone, ICP, Juvatone, they were all made with herbal extracts and different minerals. And this was before he started using essential oils and growing essential oils. Well, herbs have always been used throughout thousands of years, right? In Chinese medicine, in Ayurvedic medicine, in many indigenous medicines. One of the benefits to having essential oils in our supplements is that it has been shown that it increases the delivery into our blood. So whether it's delivering the nutrients, the phytochemicals, or the vitamins, or even the beneficial compounds, whatever it is, right? And so that was shown with a little research on multigreens, where before putting essential oils in the supplement, it was maybe about 20% into the bloodstream. And after putting essential oils into the supplement, we're talking about multigreens, it went up to 70 or 80% in the bloodstream. So what does it mean then to have just herbs, where herbs are usually dried material, and dried meaning the essential oils of the plant has been evaporated. So we have herbs as one subset of a whole plant's ability to support our health without essential oils. And we add essential oils in there, and it sort of rounds it out and gives us a nice synergy with the volatile components, as well as the more dense compounds. What we're doing now is, as an essential oil company, we are able then to extract more of the plant's compounds that was never seen before in essential oils, because they were too dense. They were in the herbal formulas. So one example I'll give you later, but look at this chart, for instance. So this is a GC chromatogram of an essential oil. And it's showing you a lot of the compounds that are in the essential oil. And if you look at the heavier molecules, so what they call it the deeper side of the spectrum, so let's say from 35 onwards, you don't see any of the compounds being distilled. So a typical essential oil contains about 20 to 60 major compounds that will come out during distillation. And we test, of course, all our essential oils in triplicate, right? And we are not seeing the heavier, deeper parts of the profile of the plant being extracted with distillation. And that's this part that I'm talking about, right? So as I mentioned before, Dr. H.K. Lin was very curious. One of the most beloved essential oils that Young Living and Gary Young has access to is frankincense. So he wanted to start there. Frankincense also has a very interesting story. And Gary Young went to many different countries to observe the different species of frankincense. And he went to Oman probably about 16 times over 20 years just to gain access to Boswellia sacra, that's sacred frankincense for Young Living. And they released the sacred frankincense essential oil in 2010. This just goes to show that Gary had a very special affinity with frankincense, and he wrote the novel The Gift, that I actually got a signed copy of in this last convention. It was auctioned as a fundraiser for the Young Living Foundation. And it's by my bedside. I would have shown it to you, but he has signed it, and it's really precious to me. But, I really believe that this transmission of a book that he wrote, if you haven't read it, you should, shows his deep love for frankincense and his possible involvement in the past life of the trade routes of frankincense. So anyway, back to why he chose frankincense. Okay, so these are the chemical constituents in frankincense essential oil. And, we don't need to go into all the names, but it's really showing you that it has the monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, diterpenes, and a few other different compounds, but it actually doesn't have any triterpenes. Now, triterpenes is where the boswellic acid is. If you go into Google Scholar and do some research on the medical properties of frankincense, you will see that almost all the research done in the last 100 years has been on the compound in frankincense called boswellic acid. So what does it mean when frankincense essential oil doesn't have boswellic acid in it? They were doing research on the resin, which of course has boswellic acid and all the amazing properties of it. Now, this does not mean that a frankincense essential oil has no benefits. We know it has multiple amazing benefits for us. But what was missing was boswellic acid. And so Dr. H.K. Lin was very curious about, there must be, first of all, other ways that the frankincense essential oil is benefiting us as we ingest the vitality frankincense, as we use it on our skin, as we inhale it. And of course, one of the research shows that frankincense essential oil inhaled activates that part of our brain that connects us to spirit. So it's a very spiritual essential oil, as shown by science. So, okay, so it doesn't have boswellic acid, but how do we get the boswellic acid? So with this technology, DeepSpectra, we're taking the resin and the essential oil to extract more compounds out of the resin. And amazingly, they have shown that, and this graph is what I took from convention, but suffice to say, what it is telling us is that it's almost pulling out all the boswellic acid present in the resin. So the example Dr. H.K. Lin gave was, if there's 12% of boswellic acid in that particular resin, they are seeing that all 12% is coming out into the DeepSpectra essential oil. So what does this mean? Well, boswellic acid in all the research has been shown to be a really potent antioxidant. It has this free radical scavenging activity that is highly measurable. So in this research that they have done with regular frankincense oil and versus frankincense squared being the DeepSpectra version, it has 4.6 times more antioxidant activity. So what does this mean? It means that there is this heightened ability for frankincense squared to truly support the normal ability of our cells to stay healthy. It can truly support this healthy inflammation within our body, and our supporting our wellness levels with a healthy immune system. And it also helps our skin with antioxidants. So the key here is at 4.6 times, which is really, really exciting. So now we have the ability to measure what is in the frankincense squared. It has 50 plus different non-volatile water-insoluble compounds. So non-volatile being what we're seeing as the heavier, denser molecules. And so this slide is just telling us that this combination of the non-volatile, water-insoluble, and the lipophilic and hydrophobic compounds is creating this lipid solution that is holding all these biologically active compounds from the plants. So it is kind of a mix, right, of a pure essential oil and these other heavier compounds. So it's never been done before. And that's what makes it extraordinary. And so here we are then really combining the power of essential oils and all the other phytochemicals that's present in the resins, right? And so what the essential oils then here is also supporting is the facilitating of that delivery of all the other compounds into our cells. The benefit of these heavier molecules can be sort of magnified with the essential oils delivering it. So back to this concept I spoke about earlier with multigreens. And this just goes to say the elevated radical scavenging activity may translate to reduced adverse cytokine secretions that shows in chronic health-related conditions. And this is pretty much going back to supporting a healthy inflammatory state in our body. We don't want no inflammation, because inflammation is a way that our body heals itself. And we don't want chronic inflammation. So we want a healthy inflammatory response in our body, and frankincense squared with its biologically active compounds can help us with that. Okay, so, you know, what's really exciting is what the future looks like for Young Living. And this is truly a like a major shift in Young Living's future because of this new technology. The logo here is two leaves coming together, symbolizing fusion. And this is also talking about the synergy. Remember, we talked about the keyword being synergy, as 1 + 1 is not 2, right? 1 + 1 is 3 or more, where two different or so many different compounds coming together are giving us that multiplied effect. And so what DeepSpectra essential oils really become is sort of a supply of ingredients to Young Living's products, whether it's more nutrition products or personal care products. We are going to be seeing more of these formulas come out from Young Living over time as they go through the process of producing them to as they release these new products, we're going to see that they're going to have the science to back up their efficacy, their multiplied synergistic efficacy. So that's pretty exciting, right? And I just want to end with, again, inspiration from Gary Young, the founder of Young Living. And this is a quote from him. "We are about lifestyle and strengthening the body through nutrition and the power of essential oils. When we do this, the body will take care of itself. We are about self-improvement and living life to the fullest." So this technology of DeepSpectra is truly taking this quote to a new level, because it is about nutrition. We're getting now the nutrition of those compounds in the herbs, remember, in the bottle with every drop that we take. So definitely fulfilling his mission, his vision, his prophecies. And yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. So I'm going to stop sharing and okay. I'm going to see if there are any questions. So I wanted to show you my phytonutrient. This has black seed oil, orange cacao, DeepSpectra, and frankincense squared DeepSpectra. This is something that I've taken internally for the past month. I'm actually all out of it and waiting for my next shipment. But it's been, again, all the benefits we just talked about, now added with black seed oil, and the benefits there has been used for thousands of years. And of course, cacao and orange. The cacao comes from our farm in Ecuador. And the frankincense squared, everyone needs to get one. And let's see. Okay, so if you have used these before, let me know and see how you have tried it. Okay, will these oils be able to be ingested or just topically? Now, the essential oils, in fact, frankincense squared is only, okay, wait. Yeah, the frankincense squared is for ingestion. So it's not actually labeled for aromatic use. And so it doesn't have the vitality on it, but that's because it's only frankincense squared DeepSpectra for internal use. And this is why. We are going to get the most benefit from these essential oils by ingesting them, as it is how we are going to absorb the heavier molecules. If we put it on our skin, it's still as good, because I actually did put this on my skin, and the phytonutrient is going to be labeled just for topical use in Canada, for instance. And that's only because it has to match the country's regulation. But in the US, it's going to be labeled for internal use. I have used it on my skin and it's been amazing. because I get little breakouts if I am exposed to gluten or dairy. And so I'm always putting oils on my face, and it helps a lot. One thing that I've heard about this phytonutrients is definitely keep it away from your pets, because the theombrin, I'm not saying it right, theomobrin, okay? It's the compound in cacao. It is what makes dogs sick, so don't give this to your pets. Let's see. Oh, you haven't heard that squared before? Yeah. So when you look at the label, you will see a 2 right above the frankincense. So we know that it is DeepSpectra frankincense squared. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Dina. I know I have both of them and love them. Yeah, me too. So that is all for today. Thank you all for watching. And if you're watching the replay, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat and I will come back in and check on you and try to answer all your questions. And I'm also going to put the link for the 2 YouTube videos that Young Living has provided, so you can get more science. Okay, thanks guys. See you later.